everybody. This is Terry. We're in Gibsland, Louisiana. We're headed right downtown. We're going to go to the Bonnie and Clyde Museum here in a few minutes. Going to do a little video and then go to the museum. And it looks like we got some people at the... No, that's not it. There's on the right. There's some cars on the side. There is some people here today. Ambush Museum was a cafe where Bonnie and Clyde stopped, or whoever was there, before they went out and rode their last ride till they were shot. And it's now a museum, the old cafe that they stopped in, got sandwiches, whatever, before they rode to their deaths. We're going to be back there in a few minutes. Going to just check some more of the town out. This is Louisiana. There's an old house there. And the odd thing when I was a kid, when I came to Louisiana, was that the houses did not set on foundations a lot of times like they do anywhere else. It seemed like they were sitting right on the ground or whatever. There was always an old couch sitting on the front porch, the way I remember when I was a kid. But it's cleaned up a lot since then. It's modernized and all that, because it's probably been 55 years ago what I'm talking about. I'm going to take a turn here and turn around and go back to downtown here in just a minute. Where's that service station? Oh, where's that service station at? It's on the side road. Probably down here. Yep, there it is. Coming to. Gonna have a truck in the way. That's service station. Service station on the right is where Frank Hammer called the authorities that had hired him to eliminate Bonnie and Clyde, and that's the service station where he called the authorities to let them know that the job was done. Right there. There was a phone booth back in the old days right outside there. Don't look like it's probably changed a whole lot, but it's in pretty bad shape and old. It says the mayor right there. It says the mayor, employees and whatever. That big building over there is a library, that new building. Okay, we're going to go in to the museum now. Okay, we're inside the museum, which was the actual cafe. We came into what was a drugstore at that time. The man there told us this stool there was where Clyde sat. May 23rd, 34. 30 minutes later, they died after getting a couple of sandwiches here.
10 minutes.
10 minutes, excuse me, after they left here. The counter ran this way, and this was the first stool that's in the counter. So this is the way the counter ran, and here's the first stool. And they said take your time in here, so there's nothing left actually of the cafe. This was just put here to show you the way it was set up. Got a video going over there, the car after the two were shot, right outside the town where we're going to go after this.
Who died as they lived by the gun. Plotting a team leading against Clyde. Clyde was a master gunman. Seldom did anyone ever live when Clyde got the first shot. Clyde Barrow's name is done. Fight at last by the law. 2 sawed-off shotguns, 2 machine rifles, 10 automatic pistols, and 1,500 rounds of one Parker death car. Every one of these holes was made by the steel-jacketed bullets from the high-powered rifles in the hands of the officers. Many of these bullets passed entirely through the door on Clyde's side, through Clyde's body, struck Bonnie, passed through her body, then out through the door on her side of the car. The officers were on the left side of the road, nearest the driver. This explains the fact that Bonnie's body had more bullet holes than Clyde's. Any one of these bullets would have been fatal to both, but after having killed 14 people, most of whom were officers of the law, and having come safely through so many gun battles, it did not seem advisable to fire just one bullet. 27 months. Each and every one failed. At the time the captain deserved the same credit. I regret they could have taken them alive. But that was impossible. I further regret that the law and justice has been served. We fulfill our duties of officers. Thousands attend the homecoming of Clyde Barrow. And this gallant funeral home to their body lives as a never-ending line of family and children from every walk of life. While life is active, or the success of the boys who have run so much against the struggle. Everyone wants to see something of that boy was against. In life, it is to be hoped that Clyde's younger brother, who is here with all the efforts to control his mother, may yet vindicate her proud to be great. As far as is reported, Bonnie Parker was the first woman bandit to take the cell. He is the only woman ever to be shot down by officers.
This is a replica car, not like the one at Prim, Nevada. This is just a replica of the same style car that they were shot in. Inside the museum, they've got all kinds of displays, lots and lots of photographs and pictures and whatever else. This is a pretty big building. I wouldn't expect it to be this big inside. All kinds of memorabilia. Anything that from the movies or anything that was written, they have collected all that material plus reproduced photographs and all that to make the museum more complete. And they've got macabre stuff in here too. And the photographs of them after they were killed, the bloody photographs are in black and white, but there's all kinds of macabre photos and whatever in here. The building, the door that we went in is the actual drugstore that was there at that time. So this is the actual cafe building right here where we're looking at. So we don't know exactly where the door was, if that was original or not. Because you can bet the cafe wasn't near as big as what we're seeing here back in those days. I really doubt it was. Because the brick is right here, but you got matching brick down there, the old brick. So you just have to really guess at where it was. We're through with the museum now. We're going to go out there to the death site now here in just a minute, here in Gibsland, Louisiana. All right, we're 5 miles from the death site of Bonnie and Clyde. There's a monument there, and we'll tell a little story when we get there too. We're 1 mile from the death scene sign. There's the marker, 1 mile. That you see in all the recreations, the hill going up, the lawmen waiting on the left side, and the trees and getting eaten up by mosquitoes that have been waiting for hours and hours and hours, and the marker monument is on the right. We've got a visitor there also with us. We'll be pulling in here. The road's probably wider. It was probably just a red dirt road at that time, and very narrow, and they were set up with Ivy Method set them up with his truck jacked up over here somewhere, so Clyde would recognize him and slow down. The lawmen are over here waiting for him. They recognized him coming up the hill there. They were going slow, and they opened up on him and shot him right here at this spot. On May 23rd, 1934. And here's the monument. When Clyde was shot, he took his foot off the clutch or whatever, and he kept moving even though he was dead at the time in the car. The car was still moving right up this road right here where I'm looking down or up. From there, after they checked everything out, the car with the bodies were still in it were later transferred to Arcadia, Louisiana, which is not far from here, and that's where the morgue was at. And we looked up a little bit. There's not a whole lot left there, but we can find the place where the morgue was, which you see all those macabre pictures of Bonnie and Clyde dead and laid out on a table, whatever. That was in Arcadia, and that's where we'll be heading here. We leave this place. So here's the death site right here. Little picture right here on this site. May 23rd, 1934, 9:15 a.m. They'd left the cafe where we were at. Got a couple of sandwiches to go. Clyde was on that stool, where that stool's at. That's where he sat at that end of the counter. They loaded up and came out here. I guess they ate their sandwiches on the way it sounded. They weren't very big people, so one sandwich would probably fill one person up, as small as they were. At the monument, people will leave all kinds of tokens here, like beads. Down here, see if there's any on the other side. There's a pile of beads over here. These markers have been defaced many times over the years, damaged them. They had to put them back up, whatever. They've torn these monuments up, souvenir hunters, over the years. They've just destroyed this stuff. Since we were here a few years ago, this has been painted over, I believe. Somebody left some cigarettes up here. But we're gonna load up, head back, hit Arcadia, and we'll talk to you in a little bit. Thank you. All right, everybody, we're going to head to Arcadia now. We're coming back to Gibsland, and Arcadia, of course, is where the mortuary was at, where the bodies were brought, and we'll find that site in just a few minutes. Heading back to Gibsland right now. This old store building, whatever that is right here across, would have been there during the Bonnie and Clyde days, as that's an old ruins right here. So this would have been there at that time for sure. Looks like an old service station building. It's just completely falling down. Out here in the piney woods, all these trees nearly are pine trees along here, and where we just came from. Very pretty country here in Louisiana. All right, here's the service station that Frank Hamer came after the killing. And I'll read this marker up here in a minute. It says historic site. Looks like I better be careful, the thing's caving in up here. But there's a payphone here back in 1934. And it said that from the payphone where you're standing, Texas Ranger Frank Hamer called Colonel Lee Simmons and said that the job is done. Bonnie and Clyde are dead. The bodies will be in Arcadia. None of the officers are injured, and it's over. Little did the officers realize the real story will live forever. And this is right here where Frank Hamer, the phone booth, was at. So service station that's in ruins now. And we're going to head to Arcadia from here. Just wanted to put the final word in here at Gibsland, and we'll be leaving. Arcadia is where we're at right now. We're looking for the downtown area, and I'm going to take a guess right here. And if not, we'll search it some more. Looks like it could be the downtown, all right. We're heading right downtown Arcadia, Louisiana. Now we're going to look for this park. It was named for one of the lawmen who was involved in shooting Bonnie and Clyde. So if we can find a park here that's named in his honor. The building evidently is gone, according to what we've read, and we'll find that spot and pull over and tell about it. Located the park, and we're going to show you a little bit of the town right here, downtown Arcadia, and then I'll turn around and go back the other way to locate that park. And they've got a monument, something that we saw. Got a thrift store down here too. We're in business here, right? Everything. Okay, here's the marker here, Henderson Jordan Memorial Park. He was born October 11th, 1896, and he died June 13th, 1958. He served as the sheriff of Beanville Parish for 2 terms, 1932 to 1940. Prior to his tenure as sheriff, he was served as private first class in 83rd Infantry Division of the United States Army during World War I. He married Anna Lesba Glower, and they had 2 children, Gloria and Larry. As sheriff of Beanville Parish, Jordan was one of the 6 law enforcement officers who participated in the ambush of the notorious outlaws Clyde Barrow and Bonnie Parker on May 23, 1934 on Louisiana Highway 154 between Gibsland and Sales. Other officers involved with the Beanville Parish Deputy Prentice Oakley, Texas Ranger Frank Hamer, and B.M. Manny Galt, and Dallas County, Texas Deputies Robert Alcorn and Ted Hinton. Bonnie and Clyde were responsible for 13 murders, including 9 law officers, and numerous armed robberies during their 4-year crime spree. So this is the site, the mortuary. The original building was torn down. It was made into a parking lot at one time. And this is what it is nowadays, the monument and park in honor of Henderson Jordan, the lawman. The mortuary is where you see those macabre pictures of Bonnie and Clyde in death, and the car would have been pulled or towed with their bodies still in it from that ambush site that we just left a while ago from Gibsland, and it was pulled here. It would have been in front of this, where we're standing right here from the mortuary, and souvenir hunters were trying to cut locks of hair off Bonnie and Clyde, and somebody was actually trying to cut Clyde's finger off his trigger finger, off his hand. The car, of course, was brought here, and it was in the town from Las Vegas, Primm, Nevada, during the casino. So the car was here in front of the mortuary, and then when we saw it, it was in Whiskey Pete's Casino in Primm, Nevada. But since that place is closed down, so we have no idea where the car is now.